Welcome. My name is George Bergstrom, and I'm the instructional librarian at the Sullivan Louisville campus. And I've been asked today to talk a little bit about some of the basic research skills and APA citation skills that you'll need for this and other classes at the graduate level. I'm starting today on the library's website. If you have not been there before, it is just library.sullivan.edu, and we're looking at the home page. The first thing I want to do is to start out by reminding everyone that we are here to help, and some of the skills and tools we're going to talk about today will make a lot more sense when you're actually doing them in the context of your assignment. So if you have questions after this video or as you're doing the research yourself, I want to remind you that the Contact Us link is in the lower left-hand corner of the library website. And that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us. Because while I don't mind you contacting me directly, and you may see my contact information as we go through the tools today, I'm only here about 35 hours a week, and the library's open more than 70 hours a week. So you'll get a faster response if you use the form on the Contact Us page that sends an email to all librarians. The next thing, of course, I will point out is that the navigation of this page is sort of divided into two different ways of getting at things. Obviously, the resource navigation is along the top, so books, ebooks, articles, databases, and journals. And then the sort of services navigation is on the left. So things like the APA Style Guide, the frequently asked questions, and Contact Us. So the primary purpose of today is for me to talk a bit about APA citation and some research basics. So I'm going to start out in the APA Style Guide. And this is a very comprehensive guide that the librarians and faculty have put together to cover all aspects of citation at Sullivan University. For any class as far down as a certificate level all the way up to the PhD level work. So some aspects of this you may or may not use in this class. Some things you may already know, but we just want to make sure you're aware of it. And obviously one of the key areas to start is the fact that on the reference list tab are the examples of how to build a citation for the primary source types that you'll be using throughout your career. So books, periodicals, things out of the databases, and other internet and web page based resources as well. And so in each of those you get the general format and then you get some examples. But the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that at this level most students are very good about getting the citation and putting it together in a list at the end of their paper. One area that many faculty have talked to me about that you may or may not be as good at is the actual connecting of the things in that list to the places they appear in your paper. So for that, we have a whole section on how to do the citations in the text of the paper. So obviously this starts off with general guidelines of why we do it and how we do it. Then sort of the two basic formats, examples of those two, and then indirect citation, citing communications, etc. So this page covers most of what you'll need to know of how to do that. And then the last section that you'll probably need to be aware of is when you're actually doing those citations in the paper, you're either citing something that you've quoted directly, something that you've paraphrased, or maybe something that you've just summarized. And so some students struggle with the differences between those three things. So there is a tab entirely devoted to that, explaining what quotes, paraphrasing, and summarization is, and then giving examples of how you would do it and some signal phrases you might use and things like that in your writing. So all of that is available to you as well. Now when we do this presentation in class, I then spend a bunch of time on giving the students a bit of a challenge of can they actually build a proper citation. So I'm going to open this up and show one of the two examples and kind of pause for a minute here if you'd like to do it yourself, or you can pause the video and see if you can take these 10 or so pieces of information, they're not all necessary, and see if you can rearrange them and put them into a proper citation format. Okay, so you've had a chance to do that, and I'm not going to reveal the actual answer here in the video because this section of the guide, if you go there live, is interactive, and you can double click on that background there and leave your own little post-it note with the order that you think it is. So I'm going to leave that open for a couple of days. I'll check it throughout the next week or so, and then I can make sure that Dr. Johnson has the correct answer. He can maybe post it in one of the discussion boards or something like that. What I will say is that you probably quickly noticed that B and F are basically the same information, just formatted differently. And the same is true with D and K. And so my word of caution here is the one in each of those pairings that is incorrect is what the database actually gave me when I pulled the citation for this article. So this is where I spend time in the face-to-face class discussing how the databases can save you a lot of time and help you out with the citations, but they are never perfect because they're done by a computer. So definitely when you get your citations after doing database searches, go to the tab that we already looked at, the reference list tab. Look at the examples of citing for periodicals and make sure you're using the proper citation format. Okay. So the next thing I was asked to talk a little bit about is some of the basics of research. And so if you're in any of these guides and you're ready to go back to the library website, there's obviously a link up here, Sullivan Library. And now that I'm back on the home page, I want to open up two different guides and just spend a minute or two in each one, give you some kind of overview information. The first one is how to research. And I actually go into this guide in almost every class I visit, no matter what the level, just to make sure we're all sort of on the same page with what good research entails. And so most faculty, especially at the graduate level, like me to focus on the fact that research is not a one-time thing or a discrete list of steps that you have to complete. It is a cyclical or an iterative process. It's something you're going to be doing over and over again until you're ready to turn in the final product. So these are the 5 basic areas, and just like in the APA guide, along the top are tabs which go into much more depth in each of those 5 areas. And so we just want to make you aware. Obviously, the library is very good at helping with sort of the definition of the problem, the location of information, and some on selecting. We can help you with organization and use, but those are areas you might want to consult your instructors on, and or the tutoring center, or just your peers helping you do that kind of stuff. So there are tools in each of those areas, and we can help you through that kind of stuff. But the other guide I want to show you is under the Subject tab, and that's for doing research at the business or company level. And so again, there's sort of an overview of what that looks like, and tabs across the top. And all I really wanted to point out here was that in each of these 3 tabs, business news, company information, and industry information, there's one database that will come up, excuse me, one database that will come up in all 3 of those instances, and that's Business Source Complete. Hopefully it's a database you're familiar with and you've used before. I just wanted you to be aware of that there's a video here that goes into the mechanics of searching that database, including how to get those citations out, how to use the filters to perform a more effective search. So I feel confident you can get more than enough information out. I feel confident that you now have the tools to get some help on citations if you weren't already doing that properly. And I will just return to the library homepage and remind you that as you start using these, doing the research for an actual class, that we are here to help. You can send us email through the Contact Us link. There's a form. It should have the phone numbers as well if you'd like to call, or if you're here on a hybrid weekend or just any other weekend and you want to come in to talk to us, the hours are always listed here, and we are very good at working with you one-on-one. So thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you all virtually.